Guys, Brandon here, coming at you with another MLB The Show video. Today I'm going to be ranking the team affinity programs for each of the teams and ranking them into 4 different tiers for 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 being the most worth it for most teams, 4 being the least likely to be used. So there's going to be a lot of things in tier 2 and 3. It's kind of hard to fit all these teams in just 4 different tiers. But we're going to go ahead and start ranking these things. So we're going to start off in the lowest tier from top down. I do have the Red Sox team affinity in tier 4. And I'm just ranking the diamond cards. Sometimes maybe the golds will help, but at this point you might be just going for diamond cards and anything that could help your team. So primary reason for ranking it like this, the walks 9 being 52. You don't really want that from a starting pitcher. I personally don't really like the left-handed starting pitchers anyway, so that's the basis for that one. And right below him, I also have the Yankees there. I did complete March to October with the Yankees just because I figured it would be the easiest, so that's where I put that. So he's only got 3 pitches. His walk 9's a 39, really rough. Control 63. I don't really have issues pitching with him personally, but I'm sure if I got into higher difficulty and online and stuff like that, he'd have some issues. I've only pitched 1 whole game with him. Not like a whole game, but 1 game. And he hasn't done bad, but I just don't think he's really worth anything with the grind unless you already did like March to October and you're just looking to finish him out since you already started it. And then the last thing for the tier 4, I have the White Sox. And his hitting's just not there for me. It's awesome to have a good fielder, great speed and everything. Could be a pinch runner, but obviously if you wanted a pinch runner, you could just get Billy Hamilton for a few stubs instead of wasting your time trying to get this guy who probably won't hit a ball out of the infield. So he's got good vision, but besides that, he's not hitting the ball anywhere. At least he'll make contact, just won't go anywhere. So we're going to go into tier 3. We've got started with the Rays. In tier 3, it's like, hey, this person can do well, but you know, how often are you going to use him? So just because he has diamond hitting, but I think the hitting is more likely average with a 69 vision. If I had a person who's good at contact, I'd expect their vision to be a little bit higher with this card. Pretty slow speed for that. He's got a lot of positions, as you can see, but in this game you don't really want to use secondary positions if you don't have to, so I wouldn't want this guy pinch hitting or anything for me really. So I just don't really see him as a good place for anybody. So done with the Rays. Now we're heading to the next third. We have the Tigers. So base for this rating, he is a 91 overall, which is very good. Stamina great. Hits and Ks great. He's a starting pitcher. You want your accuracy to be there, like I said. 58 and 73 isn't the worst or anything like that. But I just don't see a person. He's kind of a 3 pitcher as well, just with 2 kinds of fastballs, a changeup, and then a sweeping curve. Left-handed starting pitcher. Not all lefties are going to be all the way down here, but just with my starting pitchers, I'd like their accuracy to be a little bit better for me. Then with the next and the third, we actually go over here. We've got the Angels. Garrett Richards. You see a lot of 85s and stuff like that, starting pitchers. Him and the other dude had similar stats. Just a little bit low on walks for 9. The control. Everything else seems fine with these guys. I just feel like there's a lot of pitchers in this game, and having those people just really won't benefit your team all that much, and going through the whole grind won't really help you. So that's why those ratings are there. Got the A's. Then we got Diamond Donaldson. So for the third baseman position, his vision's pretty good. He's just not the hitter I'd want at third base. He's obviously a decent card, but slow speed for the most part. Fielding's pretty good for third base. He's not too good against same side, and a lot of people pitch righties. So with a 77, 54, and then a 73, he's not going to fare really well in most plate appearances. So then we're going to head to the Rangers. The Rangers have Yu Darvish, another one of those starting pitchers who isn't quite accurate. I don't really know where the balance comes from the walks per nine and the control, but his control is good, his walks per nine is not good, so he's going to still be pretty inaccurate. His home runs per nine are also really low, so while he's not giving up hits, he's giving up home runs, so there's that. But besides that, he's a decent card. If anybody has these cards, none of them are really that bad of an option, but I wouldn't waste your time with most of these tier 3 and 4 players. The 1 and 2 tiers are probably the best, with people who can fill positions for you and people who will actually benefit your team. So now we have the Cubs, the powerful Kyle Schwarber. Obviously you could use him as a pinch hitter, but if he's got 43 vision, you might be better off going to somebody who's good against righties as well with higher vision. He's got a lot of good hitting stats, but you don't want to play him out in the field for the most part with all these other good outfielders who actually have diamond fielding and stuff like that. You don't want to play him behind the plate because he loses 5 and he'll be at like 57 fielding, so that's not the best. And for being an outfield card, having 55 speed probably doesn't benefit him a whole lot. So still in tier 3, we have the Cardinals. They gave us the Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson, another starting pitcher. Low walks per 9, medium control. So I just don't see him being any better than Yu Darvish and all the other pitchers that I ranked down here. So when you're looking for starting pitchers, you want them to be accurate for those innings. Otherwise, you're going to go to the bullpen a lot earlier than expected. So after the Cardinals, we have the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have Justin Upton. The only reason he's all the way down here is because his hitting stats are all like base hitting stats with 67 vision and everything. There's a lot of good outfield cards in this game, 2 of them being the 99 overalls, and then I'm sure you can find a third one to fit in there. You get one from Conquest who's 88, and if he's the free one, so you might as well just use him if you're gonna go for an outfielder over any of these guys. And then the last one for tier 3 is the Padres. Padres have Chase Headley. He's kind of like a Donaldson kind of guy. Decent speed, I guess. Low vision, mediocre hitting. Just don't see him working out. He is switch hitter, so that's good, but I just don't see him working out in most situations for teams. So we're heading to teams, tier 2. Tier 2 I have the most people at, so we're going to go with not the Rays, we already did that. We're going to go to the Blue Jays. Edwin Encarnacion. So obviously his hitting is fantastic if you want to use him off the bench. He does have a vision of 75, so it's not the worst. Pretty manageable. The only issue is he's got 40 fielding, so if you want to use him on your actual team, 40 fielding and then 44 speed. So he suffers there, but good bat off the bench because of the 75 vision. So he could be worth a pickup if you've already started that. Then we have the Indians. We have Michael Brantley. He's one of those guards that's good with contact. He's mediocre power, good vision, and then he's pretty fast, decent fielding stats, so I could see you using him in the outfield if you needed that for your third outfielder. Not bad, but not quite to the great tier that you'd like. Next we have the Royals. We got 90 overall, Saber Hagen. With him, he's got good control, good walks per 9. He just doesn't quite have the Ks per 9 and everything. Obviously, he's only a 90. You can't expect everything from him. He does have a good change of speeds, almost 20 miles an hour, which will get a lot of people. So he's a good pickup. Then we have the Twins. I do have this one as well. Brian Dozier. So for second basemen in the game, there's not that many true second basemen. He's got a good amount of power. His vision's below what you'd like usually, but just because they're missing the gap in second baseman's. This one could be one to fill the gap with his 69 speed. He's got 78 fielding. It's just because of his arm strength that it looks like he's a bronze, but his 78 fielding is nearly a gold, whether or not you see it that way, because he doesn't have to throw the ball real far from second base. No secondary positions, but I do enjoy him at second base, and I currently use him. I just don't feel like spending stubs on people right now. So next we have most people's first tier being Jay Buhner. You know, Jay Buhner is a great hitter right now. Not right now in like real life, but like right now in the game. The only issue is his 50 vision. Otherwise, he'd be a tier 1. And then he's got 72 speed playing the outfield. Like I said, a lot of people have good outfield already, and they don't really need anybody. It's between this and the Indians, if you need a third one still, that I would go for. Then we rock on with the Astros. Dallas Keuchel. You know I'm not a huge fan of lefties, but he does throw a pretty solid stat line with in between 80 and 70 for all of his stats. The only thing that really hurts him is his 64 velocity, but I could see using him with his 100 stamina. He has good walks per 9, good control, so you can really spot your pitches up with him. The only issue is you can't really change the speeds to get batters thinking. So for the next, we have the Braves. We have Fred McGriff. 66 fielding, you can see. He also struggles against lefties, and but he's good against righties, higher vision. So this would be a card that substitutes the Kyle Schwarber and would be better than him, just because he doesn't quite have the power. I think he has the contact that he has, but not quite the power versus righty, but the vision should make up for it. You don't have to hit a ball coming in the size of a tin can, so that's pretty good. Fielding first base anyways, pretty average for first baseman, I'd say. 45 speed don't really matter that much. So now we're heading to the Marlins. Marlins have Miguel Cabrera, third baseman. So he's better in my opinion than that Donaldson. Got some good contact like Donaldson had. A little bit more power. He's got some good vision. His fielding's good. His speed's mediocre, but I'd prefer to have him at third base than the Donaldson. Then we head over to the Nationals. I just like the look of that card. It's blue. But head over to this Trey Turner. He's really nice with his contact right, contact left. Power right's good. Vision's pretty good for him. He also plays a platoon of positions. So he also has 65 fielding, not the best for an outfielder, but the speed really makes up for it. He can cover the ground that you need out there, and he's really important to the team as a leadoff hitter if you need him. Just wouldn't rank him to A tier. Don't really know why I went in there, to be honest, but heading over to the Phillies. Phillies have Richie Ashburn. So I debated between tier 2 and tier 3 for this one. He's got the high contact, high vision, and he's just like all the other cards. Good speed, good fielding. The only issue is that power. So hopefully he hits a lot of bloops out of the infield and stuff like that. You're not gonna see a whole lot of gappers. Got very good stats though, so I could see him being used on some teams. So now we're heading over to the Phillies. We're gonna go to the Reds. You get this Aroldis Chapman. I said I wasn't putting him in there, but control's terrible anyway. So then we got the Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto has a good base stat line with being a starting pitcher. His walks are 70, control 76, so he can really pitch some good innings for you. 101 stamina. I'd say he's pretty close to that Keuchel from the Astros, so that's why they're both ranked in tier 2. So after the Reds, we have the, where are we at? I think we go all the way over here to the Rockies. Rockies have Dante Bichette. Dante Bichette, great stat line with hitting wise. You can really plug him in on the bench or keep him out in the outfield for you. Only issue is his 58 fielding is pretty low, and his arm strength actually brings that up to a bronze. So that's pretty good for the outfield, but 60 speed as well. Like I said, if you could get that up, he might be an A tier, or a 1 tier. But since he doesn't have that up, he's gonna have to stick in tier 2 as a pinch hitter probably for most teams. And after the Rockies, we have the Dodgers. Dodgers, we're going to Don Sutton. He's got the stats just like all the other people in tier 2, just a little bit lacking on the velocity. But besides that, he's got like a 20-mile-an-hour difference between his fastball and his screwball. Could get a lot of people thinking, even though his velocity is not that high, the 20-mile-per-hour change is pretty big. And for the last one in tier 2, finally, we have the Giants. So the only issue with this one is, like a lot of the starting pitchers, he does have good walks, 9, good control, so you're really going to be pinpointing pitches. So he was almost a tier 1 guy for me. But you see the hits and home runs, he might be getting knocked around the park, and then your velocity as well. He also has a 20-mile-an-hour difference with his pitches, so you could really fool some people even though his velocity is not that high. So I do think he'd rank in the tier 2 with all the other pitchers. And for the final 4 teams for tier 1, we have the Orioles. The only reason Britton's in here is because he's one of those left-handed pitchers that you can have in the bullpen. Not too many left-handed pitchers that are great right now. He throws 97 miles an hour, with his walk 9 being a 68 and his control being an 80. He's pretty accurate, and I could see him being in a few bullpens for people. Not that many lefties to replace him with anyway. So we head to all the way to the Mets. Jose Reyes at shortstop. Good vision, good contact. He might put 1 or 2 out of the park. Switch hitter, really big. He's good at bunting, great fielding, great speed. I don't see how he couldn't be a tier 1 player. Good shortstop for a lot of teams. I might end up getting him and then moving Baez to like second base so that I can actually put Dozier on the bench, just because I have to actually look in between Dozier and Baez stats. They're both pretty powerful, but I gotta check the vision on them. Then we got all the way over here to the Brewers, second to last team. Raleigh Fingers, closing pitcher out of the bullpen, right-hander though. Great control, walk, good velocity, good break. Hits are 92, K 101. Really can't go wrong with that card. 89 overall. He'll stay in your bullpen for a while. Then the final card, if you've been playing along, because I haven't, got the Pirates. Another lefty. He's only 85, but being another lefty, throws 98 miles an hour, really good velocity, really good break. The walks 971, control 83, so you can still pinpoint the pitches. And who doesn't love an extra lefty in their bullpen? So that will be the conclusion for this, of the ranking the team affinities in MLB The Show 19. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing, and I'll be posting a new video every day. Stub making method coming pretty soon that we could make some stubs off of. We're just going to go over one thing. I know we're running, I guess, low on time, if you will, but if you did do the method for last time with the monthly rewards, you can see that if you did a whole lot of Kirby Yates, I only had 1, that you'll make a whole lot of money off him. I bought mine for 60. Gonna make about 60,000 off of him. Didn't get any of Tyler. I did get a lot of Tim Anderson's, but unfortunately he's not doing so well right now. I was thinking he was gonna be the best just because he's a hitter. People love hitters, but looks like it's the starting pitcher and the closing pitcher that are taking the money home. If I had 3 of those, that would be nice, but I only have 3 Tim Andersons and 1 Kirby Yates. But I'm definitely not going to lose any money on any of these, so I'm not too worried, just trying to maximize the money I do get so that I can do my next stub making method even better. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys.